Hi guys, it's Machaela and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a makeup inventory update. This is something new that I'm doing with my channel this year. I don't really have any goals or plans. I just want to keep track of what's in my collection, really just kind of give myself an idea of how much I'm spending versus how much I'm using. Just for my own personal curiosity. So I don't have any plans to stop buying or low buying, just being more conscious of how much I'm buying. I've kind of cut back a lot in the last year as to how much makeup I'm bringing in, so I wanted to just go ahead and write it all down, kind of keep track for myself and see where I should probably cut back and where I'd be okay to, I don't want to say spend more, but to where I don't think it would hurt if I were to add a few more things to my collection. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. If you're new here, I do videos focusing on beauty and lifestyle, and I would love to have you around. So hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button below so you get notified whenever I upload. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start in with skincare because I do count that as a part of my makeup routine. For moisturizers, I have 10 of them, and I feel like that's probably a pretty good number. I don't mind bringing in more skincare because I do feel like I tend to go through moisturizers at a pretty reasonable rate, so I'm not overly worried if I were to bring a couple more in, but at the same time I do have a couple that I would like to use up, and I have a few that I feel like I could potentially use up here in the next couple of months. I did just finish one of them. I finished the First Aid Beauty 5-in-1 face cream that I absolutely love. So that did recently leave my collection right before the new year. So I wouldn't mind adding some, but if I don't get any, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it. For under eye creams, I have 6. I feel like that is a good number. I feel like that is, because it takes so long to go through an eye cream. I am almost finished with one of them. I did get another one in my BoxyCharm, I think, in December. So I'm okay with that number. That's not really something I go out and buy because I do get those in BoxyCharm a lot. So yeah, I'd be okay with that. As far as brows go, I've got a couple of pomades, I've got a couple of pencils. I have a total of 10 altogether between pomades, brow setters, and brow pencils. I wouldn't mind adding in a few more to my collection because I do feel like I go through those at a pretty reasonable rate. As far as pomades go, I have 2 of those right now, and that's probably a good number for me because I just don't like using those. And then for setting my brows, I believe that I have like 3 in my collection, so I wouldn't even mind adding a few more of those into my collection. As far as lip oils go, I have 4 of them, and lip oils are something I have really gotten into in the last year. So I like that number, but I wouldn't be opposed to adding a couple more to my collection. In terms of eye primers, I have 5. And those are a product that I feel like takes a long time to go through. So I mean, if I get more, great, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy any more eye primers just because you need such a small amount and they last such a long time. In terms of face primers, I do have 14. I currently have 1 in my project pan, and then I've got kind of a list of primers that are going to be going into my project pan, so I feel like I could probably finish about at least 4 of those this year. So if I were to add a couple more face primers into my collection, I wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, that's probably a pretty good number. I do count minis and sample sizes in that. I count everything except for one-time use sample sizes. But yeah, any kind of like deluxe sample or minis, those are all counted as 1. So that doesn't necessarily mean 14 full-size primers, it just means 14 primers altogether. As far as sprays go, both setting sprays and face mists, I have 12. Now I do go through setting sprays pretty regularly, so I wouldn't mind adding a few more into my collection. I probably have about 6 of each right now, give or take a few per category. But for sprays, I wouldn't mind adding a few more. I've actually been on the hunt for a few. As far as like face powders go, I have 6. I don't use powders that much, so I think that's a good number. For me, I have a hard time with powders. I've decluttered them in the past. It's probably one of the things that gets decluttered most out of my collection because with dry skin, especially this time of the year, powders don't really help at all. They actually just make the makeup worse. So yeah, as far as like face serums go, this is separate from moisturizers. I have 5 of them. I don't use serums every day, so I think that's probably an okay number. I just kind of use them when I'm wanting a little extra boost of hydration or just kind of feel like it that day. So I do have those. Glowy bases, I have 4 of them, like mix-ins, things that if I'm wanting an extra glow on my skin. I have 4 of them right now. I don't typically purchase those myself. I usually get those with like gifts with purchase or BoxyCharm. So I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase them, but I'm not going to, I don't feel like that's a bad number at all. Foundations is where things start getting out of hand for me because I love foundations. I love different kinds of foundations. So I do enjoy a good foundation, and so I have 30 of those, which is way more than I need. Foundations and eyeshadow palettes are like the 2 categories in my makeup routine that I absolutely adore. So 30 is a lot. I am working my way through them. I only finished up 1 full foundation last year, so I have a few plans for the Project Pan. I want to work through those this year. So yeah, hopefully that number will go down, but knowing me, it'll go up because I enjoy foundations. I enjoy all kinds of foundations. So yeah, concealers, I have 14, which is still a lot. I did work through, I finished, I believe, was it 2, maybe 3 concealers last year. I bought more because I got proud of myself, and then I bought more than what I used up, but that's just the way it goes, especially when you love makeup. So yeah, and then I bought more because I used up a couple, and I'm like, okay, let's go for it again. Actually, I think I finished up 3. I remember ColourPop and then 2 e.l.f. ones. So those were all my Project Pan. For foundation mix-ins, I have 1. I have a darkener shade, which I feel like is probably plenty. If I want to lighten my foundation, I'll just use a moisturizer, so I feel like that's probably fine for now because I rarely ever use it. As far as color correctors go, I only have 1. I probably could be using more than I do because I do have really strong bags underneath my eyes. It's just an extra step in the routine that I just don't really feel compelled to do every day, but every once in a while. Glitter primers, I only have 1, which is plenty because I only use it when I'm using like a pressed glitter, I use it from time to time, so it's great for those days, but I don't feel like I need more than 1. Mascaras, I do have 14, which is a lot because they go bad quickly, but they do last a while. I do know how to get them to work for a long time, but still I probably need to cut back on that. As far as mascara primers, I only have 1. Again, I don't use it every day. If I have it, every once in a while when I'm really wanting my lashes to do better, I'll use it, but just not something I reach for regularly. I have 11 bronzers, which is actually not as much as I thought I did. I do enjoy bronzers, but I do feel like they all kind of perform the same. Aside from like you've got like your creams and then your powders. I only have 1 cream bronzer right now, and I have 10 powders, so I wouldn't mind adding a couple more cream bronzers to my collection, but in terms of powder bronzers, I do need to go through those. Blushes, another category that has gotten out of hand. I have 25 of them. I feel like a good range of like in the color stories is okay. Like 1 or 2 of each shade range is probably great for a more minimalistic collection. So I do need to go through my blushes and cut that back. I don't see myself decluttering too many of them. A couple of them maybe. I have 1 in my Project Pan, so I feel like that'll get used up sooner rather than later this year. But definitely a category that has gotten out of hand for me. I have 14 highlights. I feel like that's a lot because you use highlight so subtly. I don't feel like you need a whole lot when you do use it, so that's probably excessive, especially because a lot of them do perform the same. I have 6 face palettes, which is probably a little bit on the excessive side. And when I counted blush, bronzers, and highlighters, I did not count them in face palettes. I counted singles. So I have 6 face palettes, which is probably a lot. I'm pretty happy with that number. I don't feel like it's excessive, but I don't feel like it's it's minimal either, because I have so many blushes, bronzers, and highlighters that I didn't count in that category. I feel like that can be a lot. I have 13 lip liners, which is not bad. I have a pretty good range of colors. I think I've got, like, in the nude lip liners, I've got quite a few, but when it comes to, like, single colors, I have, you know, I wouldn't mind adding more as long as they're in different shades to match different lipsticks. So I'm content there. Probably need to work through some of the more nude shades, but I'm not mad at that. As far as bullet lipsticks, I've got 24 of those. That's a lot, but again, because of the different colors and slightly different formulas, I'm not overly worried about having that many. But I don't wear lipstick that often. I only wear it. It's one of those things that's kind of hard, so I don't really use that a whole heck of a lot, but I like having the colors when I'm wanting a more of a bold color or a different color lip. As far as lip crayons go, I have 6 of them. Again, different colors. Wouldn't mind adding to that because I do like the lip crayon formula a lot. So I wouldn't mind adding more, but at the same time I also probably need to use a few up. As far as liquid lipsticks, I have 6 of those. Again, different colors, different formulas. So I wouldn't mind adding to that collection, but again, just keep in mind that I do need to use what I have. Lip glosses, I have 5. Honestly, I can probably cut that down to like 1 or 2. Well, 1 or 2 is not really realistic for me, so probably closer to 3. I don't use lip glosses. I don't like lip glosses. I would be content if that part of my collection just completely went away. So yeah. Pencil eyeliners, I have 18 of those. Again, different colors, slightly different formulas. They work. Not mad at it. Wouldn't mind adding more as long as they're in different colors. But still need to use some up. I think I have one. I know I want to put in my project pan at some point this year, so I think I can use at least one of those up this year. But yeah, as far as liquid eyeliners goes, I have 7 of them. I use them, but not regularly. I feel like that's probably a good number. I probably do need to cut that back a little bit more. So I'm content with that. I'm not mad at it. But I just don't use liquid eyeliners that often because I feel like liquid eyeliner makes my eyes look smaller, and I really like a bright open eye. As far as single eyeshadows goes, I only have 7 of those, which is good. I wouldn't mind adding a few more of those, but considering that I have like every color in my eyeshadow palettes, I'm probably okay with that number, because if I want a single eyeshadow, I just reach into my eyeshadow palettes. So eyeshadow sticks. I'm getting ahead of myself. Eyeshadow sticks. I have 6 of them, which I wouldn't mind having more because I do like a good base when I'm really wanting a bold color and bringing out color. So that's actually a collection or a product that I wouldn't mind adding to my collection, just because I like the convenience of an eyeshadow stick. It's easy when I'm on the go but still want a more glam look. It's great for a good base when I'm wanting to bring out a color. I do use my eyeliners also as eyeshadow sticks, but eyeshadow sticks are just a little bit more convenient because they're a little bit more bulky and a little bit more, like, you don't have to be as precise. You can kind of put them on, blend, get out the door if you need to, or even just put them on, add a little bit of powder, and just run out the door if you're just wanting like a one and done look. Liquid eyeshadows, I have 7 of those. Again, I wouldn't mind adding to this category because I do like them. I do like the effect that it gives, especially when I'm wanting to add, to just amp up my eye look just a little bit. I love the effect of liquid eyeshadows. Eyeshadow palettes, I have 83 of them and counting. This is a category that I just love so much that I know I should stop buying eyeshadow palettes, but eyeshadow palettes and foundations are like the 2 categories that are just like my favorite in my collection, and I just want to keep buying them. So I have cut back on the amount of eyeshadow palettes I purchase. For me, it's just the collector in me. Eyeshadows do take a long time to go bad. Any kind of powders do. So just the collector in me wants to keep doing it, but I do, and I really want to make it a point to be more conscious of as to how much I am buying and how I need to just cut back and be content with what I have. Again, the collector in me is probably never going to stop, but I use everything in my collection. Everything in my collection, I do use every single product that I have listed, even though it is a lot, I use it. If I don't use it, I do try to declutter it if I don't like it, but I feel like my makeup collection is just excessive. 83 is a lot, but it is what it is. I love makeup. I love collecting makeup. It's just fun for me. It's a nice hobby to have. But the goal of this here is just to really show myself how much I have, and just to make sure I'm enjoying what I have and not just buying just to buy, but to enjoy using it. I enjoy shopping my stash. I enjoy doing that. I do all of that off camera just because that's kind of a me thing, but if you guys would like to see some of that, I'd be happy to show you. I do plan on updating these every 4 months. I declutter my collection every 4 months, so I feel like with every declutter, I'll go ahead and film one of these to do an inventory update. I don't do massive declutters. I just kind of get rid of, I go through my collection once every 4 months and just kind of go through what I know I don't like, so I can use the stuff I do like. So I feel like after those, I'll probably do one of these updates within that week, or within a week or two of that video, so stay tuned. They'll come in April, August, and December, and then I don't know if I'll do a inventory refresh next January or not. We're just going to see how the year goes. We're only in January, so try not to get ahead of myself here, but I feel like this is a good baseline. It's excessive. I don't plan on stopping my buying habits. I do plan on just being more aware of what I'm buying, and this is really, at least for this year, it's just to show me really how much I'm buying versus how much I'm using. But I don't see myself quitting. I just see myself being more aware of, and in that letting it kind of stop itself in a way, and just making sure I am enjoying what I do own and what I do have. And honestly, this is just for fun. This is purely, it's what I enjoy. I enjoy makeup, I enjoy beauty, I enjoy fashion, I enjoy these things, and it's for me to feel like me, especially with the busyness of life. I just want to enjoy it. And with that, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. God bless, and bye guys.